Nice to have you here tonight as we talk about Tradition 2, as you can see on the screen. My dear friend, Father Zechariah Lynch, is here tonight. How long have we known each other, Zach?
I was there. Well, we met, I think, the first time we were talking about late 90s. What it was like 95 when my dad came
when
back.
Your dad came, yeah.
Yeah, I was tagging along.
At that time, Don and I had planted a new church in Pueblo, a vineyard church. And your dad was a product of the Jesus People movement. Lived in a Christian commune.
Yeah. He was at Anaheim Vineyard with John Wimber for a little while also.
Yeah. And he was, I think, our first missionary guest speaker. I think our church was like 2 months old. And we took a special offering for him, which I'm sure you're still benefiting from.
Yeah, I think so.
He probably bought something that he passed down.
My long-term investments have really paid off.
If that money had been invested, it would have been good. Now, and then you and Natalia attended our vineyard, the Vineyard Pueblo. Mm-hmm. Was it around 2000?
Yeah, we moved Pueblo. That was 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're part of our congregation then. Mm-hmm. And you were just a young, very spiritual young guy. Now you're a spiritual...
I was a young guy,
middle-aged.
Sure.
You're a middle-aged guy now. Yeah.
Now I'm just an older guy.
Yeah. And by the way, Father Zechariah is very holy. So if you happen to touch him tonight, be really careful.
That's right. That's why
I took a bath in holy water before.
It's good.
So I'm safe for a while.
Prepped well then.
Until I say something silly, then I'll fry. Now I remember being in your house, and you told me that you felt called to the Orthodox Church.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was mad.
I know. I remember.
Do you remember me being mad, or did I hide it?
No, because what I was doing, the children's church at that time, I think, and you wanted me to come up to assistant pastor.
I wanted you to be a vineyard pastor. I did.
And then I pulled the rug out of that, and you were upset at me.
Yeah, I was. I couldn't remember if you knew I was, or if my spiritual disciplines were such where I hid it or not. And I remember you asked me to bless you.
Yeah, I did. Yes.
And I did not want to bless you. I wanted to not bless you. I wanted to bless you to stay and to work with us. But one thing about this work that we do is you find out that it's Jesus' church, not ours.
Right.
Yeah. So I prayed a blessing over you, and eventually I quit ministry altogether. I took it really hard when you left.
That was me.
That was primarily you, yeah.
Well, at least
I don't want you to feel bad. I had a 7-year sabbatical.
There's been enough time in between. I don't feel too bad right now.
Good.
If I would have known then, I would have felt bad.
Yeah. Well, you were obeying the Lord. Yeah. It's interesting to me that you felt the need to be blessed. Why did you ask for a blessing to do that? A lot of guys would be like, hey, by the way, I feel called to do this. See you later.
Yeah. Because of that very reason. I mean, at that time, I still do. I'm very thankful that God's continued our relationship, even though we have sometimes a number of years in between when we don't see each other. But I always really respected you, and was very appreciative of everything that you were doing pastorally for me and my family at that time. And I think those kind of pastoral blessings are very important. And there's a scriptural precedent for that. So it's important to receive the blessing of the Lord. But we there's a tendency where we could get a little cavalier, right? I feel this, so therefore I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
But we see in the scriptures we're always called to be part of the body and to have brotherly and fatherly. As the pastor of that church at that time, I thought it was very important, and scripturally speaking, very important to have your blessing and prayerful support, even though it was difficult.
John Wimber, one of the founders of the Vineyard, talked about churches being like buses. And you don't own any, if you're the bus driver, you don't own any of the passengers.
Right.
You just drive the bus, and you get to a stop, and some people get on, and some people get off.
Sure.
And you don't curse people for getting off the bus.
Right.
I remember your father giving a talk where he quoted, I don't know if it's in Jeremiah, but he felt very led, and he quoted a scripture about seeking the ancient paths.
Yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking
Jeremiah,
about?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the exact reference in Jeremiah?
I don't remember.
Oh, come
you
on,
put me on the spot. And I can't deliver.
And to me, it's interesting that your dad hippie, Jesus people, hippie Christian, Jesus movement at the Vineyard, and at a certain point feeling called into this ancient path called Eastern Orthodoxy. And how much of your dad's influence do you think was on you? Do you think, being his son, that it was a familial call? Or is it just kind of unrelated? Or?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I don't know. Those things are never unrelated. I think things are much more related than even we understand them to be. So indisputably, that can't be disconnected. I would say at that time we were on concurrent paths together.
You went to seminary soon after that and began studying.
2008, I went to seminary.
Okay, what did you do for those? So we have a little bit of a gap there. I think you asked for the blessing early 2000, maybe 2002
I think it was,
or 3 or something.
Yeah, right around that time,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
So what were you doing?
Working and just attending the local church there that I became part of.
Okay, so you began to attend an Orthodox church.
Yes, yes.
Same church that you're shepherding now?
Yes, same church I ended up going back to.
Okay. And what's the name of your church?
Archangel Michael Orthodox Church in Pueblo, Colorado.
Okay. And as you guys know, and I warned him that you guys would be highly interactive. You probably ask some really embarrassing questions. I'm hoping you do, actually.
I'll bounce those to Alex.
Yeah, no, I'll send them right back. You began your journey in the Orthodox Church by attending an Orthodox church.
Yes.
What was that like? Because it's quite different than what
Very different, absolutely. I was first encountered Orthodoxy because my parents left in 1993. We were attending the Santa Maria Vineyard at that time. My parents left shortly after the wall came down, Soviet Union, to be missionaries in the Ukraine. So of course there was my first encounter really with the Orthodox Church. Of course it was in disarray due to communism, as most Christian believers were in that time period. So that was my first encounter with it.
So you were a teenager?
Yes, I left Santa Maria when I was 16.
All right, so your parents feel called to be missionaries to the
Correct.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
The wall, it's been after 89, the wall came down.
Yes.
And that's eventually where you met Natalia,
Yep.
right?
Yep. My wife's right there.
So why don't everybody, this is Natalia Lynch, and she's Ukrainian, and she's more than that. But and I got to meet Natalia way back in the day as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So your folks went to Ukraine as missionaries, and you came back with a wife.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which worked out
thing
pretty
I
good
came
for
back
you.
with. It was a good deal. It was a good
Yeah.
deal.
And how long have you guys been married?
It'll be 30 years this year.
And how many children?
5.
Just so you all know, 5 is the holy number of children to have. If you have 4 or 6, you're not quite there. But
Yes.
we have
5 is good.
Something else we have in common. We were using the bathroom concurrently a minute ago, and he pointed out that his church has Georgia Pacific paper towel dispenser.
Yeah.
So we know there's at least 2 things that we have in
2
common.
connections. I thought that was
Yeah.
significant.
Because you're not Russian.
I am not. No, absolutely.
How many redheaded Russians are there?
There's quite a few, I'm sure.
Okay.
You know, but
But you're not one of them.
No, I'm predominantly Scotch-Irish.
Oh.
So my
few of those
grandmother, who is going to be 100 on February 6th, is Greek.
Your mom's?
My dad's mom.
Your dad's mom is Greek.
is Greek, and his dad was Irish.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
my
your-
dad was.
Your dad did have kind of swarthy skin.
He
so
did.
That was from
yeah,
the Greek,
he was.
The Greek side.
Yeah. When we were young, people would think, "Did you kidnap these children?"
They didn't look.
No. You're too dark.
Yeah, you and your sister both
Yeah.
look like your mom.
We do. We got she won out in the genetic battle. So
Okay. So originally when I talked to you, we were going to talk about the sacramental stream.
yeah, that was.
And you weren't available
6.
that day. Yeah.
That's a great Lent, first week of Great Lent for us. So it's
Yeah.
Very
Wouldn't have been
intense.
a good time for you to come. But I remember even before your orthodoxy days that you were very, very passionate about holiness. So I thought, well, maybe this would actually be a good fit.
Sure.
As well.
Yeah.
What is orthodoxy? And I know there's Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox. There's probably something else too. Armenian Orthodox? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, generally, it's all in communion with each other.
Okay.
The ethnic labels are simply that. I mean, ultimately, I think the best way to summarize it without going into some long, dissertation about that is it's the most ancient, longest standing and practiced form of Christianity on planet Earth today.
Okay. Now, my Catholic brothers and sisters would probably disagree with
They
you.
probably would, but I'll defend my position.
Yeah, and this is good. Because I grew up Catholic.
Sure.
And I don't have a dog in that fight these days, or ever actually, but they would say that they're the original church.
Sure.
Apostolic succession. Peter
Sure.
was the first pope.
Yeah.
Not your brother, but the apostle.
Yeah,
Peter.
not my brother.
Yeah. So, do you consider the Catholic Church also the original church? Or, because officially there was a split between you guys.
Yes, 1054.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the major, I mean, not, again, you could unpack, there's a lot of stuff that you could get into, but to keep it simple, we would say there was a more or less, keeping it simple again, unified Christianity for the first 1,000 years. And then because of the rise of the claim of papal supremacy, or the Roman Catholic Church, which the rest of the church rejected, right? So originally there were 5 primary, what we call ancient sees, right? Mm-hmm. Rome, of course, Jerusalem, the most ancient, Alexandria, Antioch, Rome, and the last was Constantinople. Mm-hmm. So when Rome claimed papal supremacy, that's one, and the other 4 said, no, that's wrong, right? So the Eastern Orthodox Church went with the 4 ancient sees who said...
Yeah, so the majority was like...
The majority rejected...
Stop trying to take over everything.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And so that's where the split came over other things also, which would get us down other rabbit trails we don't want to probably go to.
Yeah, some theological differences.
I was curious about your vestments. Is that... Are vestments
cassock.
Clothing? Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just curious about wearing it and why you wear that.
Sure, that's a great question. Thank you. So it's you'll